Hello and welcome again to Forgotten Temples with myself, Mr. B. And you find me here at the most beautiful 12th century Prang, which is deep in the heart of Thailand. I'm actually heading towards the border of Laos, and it won't be so long until I actually hit it. I'm halfway there. This is the deepest I've ever been into Thailand. And I'm taking this distant shot of this temple so you can appreciate these beautiful fluttering flags. But I'm lying to you already. Not about the location, not about the name, not about the date. This ain't a temple. Guess what it is? This is in fact a hospital. It's one of the many, 70 odd were built in Thailand by King Jayavarman VII. Now I have covered a couple on this channel, but this without doubt is the most complete. So we'll be having a look around here, and it's fascinating, isn't it, to think that this was the last sanctuary for all those that have been injured or wounded or sick. And to travel here would have been a tremendous journey. But before we go to our destination, allow me to tell you something of my travels. Now I've kind of realised that I magically appear in front of these wondrous sites, these sites left from an ancient time. But what I don't tell you is the journey that I take to come here. So on this occasion, a brief few words on that, because I've had to leave the heart of Cambodia, travel across the mountains and through those awful roads, all the way into the heart of Thailand, heading towards the Laos border, just to come and see this beauty. Well, my journey obviously starts with getting to the main pass, but next to the border is a dear friend of mine. On your screen now, you'll see me and my friend Stinker. That's what I call her. Now I met Stinker because I was looking for Pol Pot's secret bunker up in the mountains, and her mother, just by pointing and stuff, because they don't speak English, helped me find it. So every time I go past, I always take Stinker presents. Last time I went to see her, she didn't even have shoes. Of course, I corrected that situation because they are, shall we say, exceedingly financially challenged. They are desperately poor. That's the more blunt way to put it. So I always stop by and see Stinker, and I take her teddy bears and clothes and everything else. And it's very much like being Santa Claus, and that's something I enjoy. It was then across the mountains and into Thailand, and I went to a theme park which is disused. It's been shut down because I wanted to see these two. And what these are two giant robots. So I broke into the theme park because that's the sort of thing I do. I'm always one to push open doors that maybe others would like to leave closed. And I was just desperate to see the robots because I'm a complete child and I have no embarrassment in saying that. The next thing was to go and look for a waterfall, which I did up in the mountains in Thailand. But guess what? I couldn't find it. But what I found was this enchanted road. Now what you're not seeing on the screen is it's really tiny. It's only 6 feet wide, but it was just magical. It was so beautiful. This little road winding through this forest. I went up and down it and round it. Oh, it was heavenly to say the least. And then this morning I got up to go to a national park, and there was this huge religious festival, and there was all these wonderful ladies holding these big bright red umbrellas and all these monks chanting and so on. So I snapped a few shots, made a note to return there one day when there's less people, and then I hit the road. Hours upon hours on the beautiful tarmac roads of here in Thailand to come and see this. And it really is worth all the journey. But as you can see, the journey itself is very much part of it all. Can you see me? I'm right at the back of the shot here, waving my arms. And it would just be a quick shot, this, because what I want to show you is the size of this. This is a pool of water. And what is amazing is it's nigh on 1,000 years old. But look at the symmetry. Look at the lines. It is quite simply geometrically perfect. It is a wonder all on its own. And you have to recall where we are. We are in a hospital. So this pool here would have been used for dual purposes. It would have been used not only as a bathing pool, but also water for cooking and so on. But I think its real beauty now, for it has no function, is something that could be admired greatly. Because you've got to think what this has been through. It has been through well over 1,000 monsoon rains, and also this unbelievable barking heat which I'm suffering from today. And still it has kept itself absolutely perfect. The engineering skills that went into building this didn't just make something that's functional. What they made is something that really should be looked upon with wonder and with awe. There is the pool, and right here is the hospital. So you can imagine very clearly 10 centuries ago who would have walked through this door, or in fact many of them would have been carried because they were injured or sick in some way, and this was their final destination. And that road could have been tortuous. Dirt roads for day after day, seeking some sort of help and some sort of guidance. And as we walk in, we still see echoes of that. This is real money. This is not fake. This is real money that has been left here. Again, looking for help and looking for guidance. And nothing much has changed. The blessings that are being hoped for by whoever left all that money, and those of many years ago, was to come here to the very heart of this temple site, because in here lay a god. And quite incredibly, for the first time at a hospital, I have discovered which God was in here. And to my absolute delight, it's not any old God. It is my most favourite God. Because it is so very rare that I come across a site that's dedicated to Indra, I want to say a few words about him, because he is without doubt my favourite God. He is the one I call to when I'm in trouble, and I do get myself in some very dangerous situations doing what I do, and an idea of that is walking through minefields. I'm not joking. So I call upon Indra to keep an eye on me, and he is the god of rain. Have a look at this image. My goodness, doesn't he look fantastic? He was an incredible god that drove round on this multi-headed white elephant. But he was also a flawed character, and that's why I love him. If you know my history of being an addict and how these temples helped me recover, then I was gravitating towards Indra because he got into all sorts of trouble with other gods, for he was forever drinking and cavorting with ladies and partying too much, and the other gods had a word with him and said, look, get your act together, that you should not be acting like this. So he is a very human god in his many ways. But do you know why I'm telling you this? Because rather sadly, he's no longer worshipped. He was here. This was one of his homes, and they worshipped him back then, the ancients. But now he's not forgotten, but he's not part of the gang, Vishnu and Shiva and the rest of them. But you know what? I haven't forgotten him, for I worship him in my own silent way. So let's have a look inside and see where he once stood. So it's through this ancient doorway that he once dwelled. And it's here those that were wounded and sick and dying would have come, crossing this threshold. And isn't it magnificent? I'm deliberately moving slowly because it is so well preserved. This is the best I've ever seen of its kind. And inside, quite incredibly, we have Buddha as the central god now. Of course we do. But what is incredible is there's 2 candles burning and there's nobody here. So recently somebody has come and lit them. So I'm going to take one knee now. And I'm going to say thank you, Indra. Thank you for keeping an eye on me. And thank you for keeping me safe. So here it stands, a mighty ancient building to a god that is all but less forgotten. But what this building is, more than anything else, is a memory, because it would have saved literally thousands of lives. Do not think for a moment, because you're looking at an ancient building, that the medical knowledge was backward in any way. You've got to remember the trading routes of this mighty empire stretched to India, China and beyond. And it wouldn't have just been trading in goods and feathers and food and so on. It also would have been knowledge. And what is more important than the knowledge that keeps people alive? So in this building would have been a vast wealth of knowledge that would have been grabbed from the 4 corners of the empire and beyond. So we can safely say that thousands of people would have lived due to this being built by the most illustrious of kings, Jayavarman VII. I very much hope you've enjoyed this little adventure in a far-off land. And if by chance you can help me build up a library of sites like this that are often neglected and forgotten, I will be truly grateful. Now, how you do that is very easy. It's www.patreon.com/temples. As simple as that. So, until next time, it only remains for me to wish you absolutely nothing but, of course, the very best. You be sure to take good care now.